champion Devils, led by coach Larry Robinson, had another stellar regular season, finishing with 111 points. Their fifth straight 100-plus point season. Good enough for first in the Eastern Conference. Patrick Eliash led the team with 96 points, a new career high. Marty Brodeur finished with 42 wins, his sixth consecutive 30-plus win campaign, joining the NHL elite in that category. New Jersey was 12-6 heading into the finals, their biggest scare coming at the hands of the Maple Leafs in round two. The Devils coming back from a 3-2 deficit to win the series, rallying around a vicious elbow suffered by Scott Niedermayer, thrown by Toronto enforcer Ty Domi in game number 5. Meanwhile, the Avalanche were poised to knock off the defending champs, finishing the season with 118 points and winning the President's Trophy. Joe Sakic scored 54 goals and racked up 118 points. Patrick Roy earned 40 wins for the first time in his illustrious career, and the acquisition of Rob Blake at the trading deadline had the Avs ready for their mission. Mission 16W. Simple, 16 wins and the cup is yours. No one wanted it more than their longtime NHL veteran, Ray Bourque. He had come close a couple of times as a member of the Boston Bruins, but was never able to sip from the mug. He made it clear he came to Denver to win the cup, and this would be Raymond's final push in his 22-year career. The Avs were three-quarters of the way home, 12-4 heading into the finals. However, the nasty 7-game series versus the LA Kings in round 2 claimed the services of Peter Forsberg. Forsberg having to undergo emergency surgery to have his ruptured spleen removed after the Avs defeated the Kings in Game 7. His services would be lost for the remainder of the postseason. The Avalanche were convinced they could overcome this setback. The crowd was electric for Game 1 in Colorado. Both teams were anxious to get play underway. New Jersey would get the first good chance on goal. Scott Gomez testing Patrick Roy with a knuckler from 60 feet. Avalanche captain Joe Sakic would return the favor, handing Marty Brodeur his first action of the contest. Once the teams found their legs, it was Colorado who seemed to have the early momentum. Adam Foote had the first real scoring chance of the game. A hard one-timer forced Martin Brodeur to be sharp, and Joe Sakic would keep the chances coming with a nice spin-around effort, but again, Brodeur turned him aside. The Avs captain was having a great start, and midway through the first, his speed would be rewarded.
Henge is up there, hit from Sakic. Wow, reverse to speed. Sakic, what a goal by Sakic.
Physical play was a factor in the period. Rob Blake would send the Devils an early message at the expense of Randy McKay. New Jersey would press for the equalizer for the remainder of the first, but Patrick Roy would not be beaten. In the second, Randy McKay would be victimized once again. An awkward collision with Ray Bourque in the neutral zone would send him to the locker room with a fractured left hand. The Avs seemed to have all the momentum and kept it coming.
Tapped into the corner. Colorado attacking. History! 2-0 Colorado!
Clearly, the Avalanche were in control. Any effort put together by New Jersey was turned away by Patrick Roy. The Devils would turn to the body to try and get something going. But clearly the Avs were getting to them early in this series, and a little 4-on-4 action is all their captain needed to continue his offensive clinic.
Out there is Sakic, comes in, fakes, comes in, a goal! Scores! Joe Sakic again!
The third period would be no different. Defending champs having a tough time containing the Avalanche forwards, and any miscue by Colorado would be corrected by the solid play of Patrick Roy. New Jersey was not sharp, and the Avalanche seemed to take advantage at every opportunity they got.
Getting rough again out there now. Dingman is nailed again by O'Donnell. Gets it front and scores!
With the contest seemingly out of reach, New Jersey would continue to battle, trying to build and take something positive into Game 2. The Avalanche would not budge, and late in the period, they would pad their lead on a goal by Steve Reinprecht to make it 5-0. Brodeur and the Devils would have to regroup as the Avalanche would win by the 5-0 margin. Patrick Roy making 18 saves for his 18th career playoff shutout, extending his own NHL record.
Joe was simply Joe. Once again, gave us a great game, gave us some big goals. hey, Joe Sakic, for us, like it's pretty normal to see performances like tonight.
I don't think that, other than it right in the third period, I don't think Blakey or Ray or Foote got hit all night, and certainly Joe never could have wore eggs in his pants. He never got hit as well. You know, our guys were getting hit left and right.
Game 2 and the fans of the Pepsi Center going crazy, hoping that the Avalanche could continue where they left off in Game 1. Early, it seemed that Colorado's MO was to go after Marty Brodeur and try to keep him off his game. It proved unsuccessful. The New Jersey netminder appeared to be stronger, standing tall and turning away the early Avalanche opportunities. The same could be said about the Devils. However, their target would be Joe Sakic. It did not seem to be paying off either. Sakic nor the Avs would take the bait. The Avalanche continued their physical attack. Forward Sean Podine's hit on Sergei Brylin was enough to draw a retaliation minor. It seemed to be just the tonic Sakic and the Avs needed to get things going.
Great pressure here. A shot. Sakic is there. Rebound. No. Now it rolls to the net. They score. What action!
Coach Larry Robinson would have to try and right the ship and get his team back on course before the Avs struck again, and the hole became too large. The message seemed to be received, but it was an unlikely hero who got the Devils on the board.
It's outside the line and race for it. Corkum. He's going to get in there. Corkum going in. Scores.
Bob Corkum replacing the injured Randy McKay. McKay out due to the collision with Ray Bourque in game number 1. Corkum's goal ending Patrick Roy's scoreless streak at 227 minutes, 41 seconds in the finals. Roy missing the record set by Clint Benedict from 1923 to 26 by a mere 1 minute 41 seconds. Roy and his mates appeared to bounce back, Patrick making a couple of saves shortly thereafter as the Avalanche killed the two-man advantage. However, just as the penalty expired, the Devils struck.
Played back by McGinley for Wiedemeyer. Stop. Score.
In the second, the Devils continued to grow stronger, trapping the Avs and minimizing their chances. Shots on goal were hard to come by, and the Avs appeared to be losing their grip. Marty Brodeur was reading the play very well, looking much stronger with the one-goal lead. The physical play never stopped, each of the teams battling for every inch of open ice. This trend continued in the third, Colorado having trouble producing any shots on goal, and Marty Brodeur turning away everything they could muster, including the Alex Tanguay deflection. Joe Sakic would do everything trying to spark his teammates, from sacrificing the body and battling with Devils captain Scott Stevens. Meanwhile, using his speed along the boards to gain open ice and generate scoring chances. It seemed that now the ice had been tilted in favor of the Devils, and time was running short. A 2-1 victory for New Jersey, and all the momentum heading back to the Swamp for game number 3.
That's what the Stanley Cup's all about. The Stanley Cup playoffs is finding ways to win games, and we found two guys that work very hard and don't get the credit they deserve, and finally they potted one, and it was a big 2 goals.
Turner and Corky, they provide so much in the locker room, and to see them get a goal, it makes it takes pressure off all of us, and they were the key tonight.
Got to give them credit, but I don't think we did the little things that we did in game 1 to get the win, and that's something that we've got to regroup, come out in game 3 and start doing those.
There were 19,040 on hand in New Jersey for Game 3 of the best-of-7 series. Colorado looking to exorcise a demon, having not won in New Jersey since 1993, when they were known as the Quebec Nordique. The Devils were bringing all. The early momentum and an early power play was all they needed to get things going.
Behind the net. It's centered for Holy. Not a long shot.
Jason Arnott's one-timer giving the Devils the start they had hoped for. Patrick Roy did not seem shaken by the early tally, making a couple of saves and preserving the one-goal contest to give his team a chance to get back in the game.
Hodin is trying to get it out front. He does. The wraparound. Skula shoots. Scores.
The seeing eye shot over the shoulder of Marty Brodeur tied the game at 1. New Jersey would have to tighten up defensively and wait for their chances. However, it seemed that Patrick Roy had an answer for everything the Devils could come up with. Case in point, a wonderful stop on Patrick Elias, Roy using his butterfly style to perfection. A little later, it was A-line mate Peter Sikora who would get a chance. But again, Roy was there making a great read on the play and poking the puck away, keeping the score tied at 1. You have to be good to be lucky, and lucky to be good.
Stopped outside the line, cross ice, and Roy has to leave the net. He was bumped. Net is empty. Wow!
The goalie's best friend, keeping the game tied, Roy, obviously upset with his misplay, took his frustrations out on the net. But he could breathe easy. The game was still tied. The third period would provide a tentative start. But the Devils found themselves in the box, and a huge face-off win would provide the Avs with a break.
Won by Colorado. Bourque shoots, scores! Ray Bourque!
Bourque's 41st career playoff goal put the Avalanche up 2-1, and they were less than 20 minutes from regaining the lead in the series. A little insurance is all that was needed, and a crucial shot block by Ville Nieminen is just what it would take.
And the Avalanche bring it back to center ice. Drury gets up over the line. Nice play. And Nieminen bringing on goal. He scored! What a scoring play! And Heino gets the goal.
The Devils would not pack it in, fighting to the end. The A-line would press. Peter Sikora would get a chance, and Jason Arnott another on the rebound, but neither could beat Patrick Roy. The Avs took Game 3, 3-1, Colorado's first win at the Swamp since they were the Nordique in 1993, and regaining the momentum in the series.
It was a pretty good battle. I mean, I think the main thing with us is we didn't lose our composure in the first. It was 4-1 there in penalties, and they got the first goal, and they got a 5-on-3.
They're doing a lot of clutch and grab, and they're clogging up the middle of their net and making it real tough to get goals. But it's not a time to get frustrated. It's a time to work through it, and that's all it is, hard work. They worked really, really hard tonight, and they got the win.
You're not going to win a lot of games or a lot of series when you're not scoring goals. And right now, I mean, we've only scored 3 goals, I think, in 3 games. That's not going to win you a lot of games.
Game 4 in the Swamp got off to a painful start for Devils forward Jason Arnott. An awkward carom off the boards, and he would take a puck in the face. Arnott would leave for some early repairs and return, but later would leave after only 3:41 of ice time. It was the Devils who seemed stronger early in the contest, forcing the Avs back on their heels. Yet again, it was the Avalanche who got an early break.
Henge, nice play, right in front of the net, score! Up on the play was Rob Blake.
Rob Blake's goal broke the early goose egg and gave the Avs the lead. The Avs continued pressing, with the teams playing a rare 3-on-3. Chris Drury and Ray Bourque had a great chance to add to the lead, but a rolling puck prevented Bourque from finishing the play. Patrick Roy would continue to play the puck, even after the near miscue in Game 3. When the second got underway, it was the Avalanche pressing. Joe Sakic would get a little room to skate, but Marty Brodeur stood tall and kept the deficit at only 1. Then on the power play, the Avs committed a costly error.
Sikora passes over in front, shot!
The goal wasn't pretty, but a goal nonetheless. And the Devils found themselves knotted at 1 on the shorthanded goal by Eliash. The momentum seemed to shift yet again, and the Devils continued to force Patrick Roy to stay sharp. Alexander McGillney would get the best chance to put the Devils in front. A huge blast would beat Roy, but fortunately for Avs fans, he could not beat the goalpost. The seesaw battle continued when finally the Avalanche patience paid off.
Madden is delivering several checks. Another one right there. Drury scores! Can you believe this?
Drury's spectacular goal coming on only the Avs' 3rd shot in the period. The third period proved to be more of the same, each team with some scoring chances. The Devils with the majority of them, but Patrick Roy was proving to be the great equalizer in the hockey game, until the unthinkable.
Dallas Parker shot it into the corner. Roy takes a look, sees Pandolfo, he's caught again. Pandolfo on out, score! They tie the game! Roy's second turnover in the series resulted in Gomez's 5th goal of the playoffs and a tie hockey game at 2. Just the break the Devils needed, and perhaps they had seen it coming. Patrick seemed unfazed by the blunder, continuing to make saves, keeping his team alive. Marty Brodeur would do the same, turning away any Avalanche attack. Late in the period, the Devils got a chance. The defending Stanley Cup champions lead in that department. Looking to go ahead. Sikora
Peter Sikora's goal proved to be the game winner. Yet another momentum shift as the series would head back to Denver.